A particle moves along the line OX. When its displacement from O is x meters, its acceleration is given by this expression here. When x equals 2 meters, the particle is at rest. We want to show this. Note that this is velocity in terms of displacement. So we know that acceleration is equal to this. Since we're doing velocity in terms of displacement, it makes sense to use A as v dv dx. And so that is going to be, of course, you could use the d dx of a half v squared because we're going to get there anyway. And so that is equal to 30 over x cubed. And so we have the integral of v and dv is equal to the integral of 30x to the negative 3 dx. So this one is a half v squared, which is what I was saying we could get there anyway if we'd use this one. And we are then going to have 30x to the negative 2 over negative 2 plus some constant. Let's multiply through by 2, and I get v squared is equal to some constant, so that's just this one divided by multiplied by 2, and take away 30 over x squared. So we know that v equals 0 when x equals 2. So 0 is going to be a, take away 30 divided by 4, and so a is going to be 15 over 2. So v squared would be 15 over 2, take away 30 over x squared. So if we take 15 over 2 out of here, then we'd have 1 here. Now, think about this as being 60 over 2x squared, and that would be 15 times 4 over 2x squared. So if we take 15 out, then we're left with, so we take 15 over 2 out, we're left with 4 over x squared, as required. And so we're asked, what is the limiting velocity as x tends to infinity? So if x tends to infinity, of course, 4 over x squared will tend to 0. And so we'll be left with v squared being 15 over 2. And that means that v would be the square root of 15 on 2. Now note here, it can't be the negative. With v squared being equal to 15 over 2, you'd think there might be a plus or minus in here, but there isn't. Because the particle starts when x is 2, v is 0 at this point, and when x is 2, the acceleration, 30 over 8, is positive. So at this point, it starts to accelerate in this direction, which means it's going to start moving this way, which means that the x value is always going to be positive, and therefore the acceleration is always positive. So we can't have a negative velocity.